Hi Eva, it's Abby. I'm sending a message to you and all the fertile mamas out there from Oregon in the United States. And I want to tell you about my experience and success with the Natural Fertility Prescription Program. To give you some background information, I am 30 years old. I work at Oregon State University in communications as a research writer, and my husband and I had always really wanted kids, just weren't sure when it would happen. And when I was about 26, I went back to school to get my master's while working full-time, so 40 hours a week plus all that school, and realized it would take me about 3 years to finish. And we decided, instead of trying to have a kid in the middle of all that chaos, we would wait till I was done. So at the tail end of my program, coming down from that mountain of stress, lack of sleep, caffeine, and poor diet, we decided to have a kid, and we're just baffled when it didn't happen right away. All in all, it took us 13 months to conceive, and it was a horribly hard road. Everyone around me was getting pregnant very easily, and I must have picked the year that everyone decided to have a baby, because from cousins to best friends to colleagues. So that was very difficult. I always thought that I was healthy and we would have no problem. There's no history of infertility in my family. And after about 6 months, I went into my OBGYN for some initial testing. And 1 month he found that my progesterone was low. Not low enough that I wasn't ovulating. But the next month it was normal. So, you know, I have no doubt I definitely needed some balancing out there, and I was probably out of whack with just my stress levels, but nothing clear-cut at that point. I also had a HSG test where they shoot dye through your reproductive tract to check for blockages or polyps or fibroids, and I didn't have anything like that, so that was good. So after a few more months, you know, I start acupuncture, and that really helped me just sort of balance out. It helped my cycle. I started seeing a better quality in my menstrual cycle, but still no pregnancy. And by this time, you know, at about when we had been trying for 11 months, and I had had several breakdowns of just total despair and ready to give up, we went to a reproductive endocrinologist. And at the same time, I knew I wanted to use the RE as a diagnostic aid, but not as a treatment aid. I wholly believed in the more holistic approach, and luckily I came across the Natural Fertility Prescription Program. And of course I was a little skeptical because there were so many internet scams out there claiming it could get you pregnant in a month or whatever it might be, 100% guaranteed. And it was when I did some more research that I realized that Eva is a real person with real heart, real knowledge, and real clientele. And I watched these video testimonials like you're watching now and was just hooked and convinced. And so I signed on. It was pretty inexpensive. Started with the detox, the cleanse, which I will admit was difficult, but so worth it. I did it for 2.5 weeks. And I had memories coming back to me that I had never accessed. I was sleeping better. My energy was just phenomenal. I really felt like the old Abby. And around this time, my husband and I went into the reproductive endocrinologist. All of my tests were pretty normal. I had the right levels of luteinizing hormone and FSH. My egg reserve was good. My anti-Mullerian this, and every test they did, it was good. My thyroid was a little off. I was probably what you would call very mild subclinical hypothyroidism. Nothing that's made them want to put me on meds, but it wasn't like super, super ideal. So I knew I needed to balance that out. My husband, on the other hand, we found out that he had low sperm count, and we were just devastated. His morphology and motility were normal, but his sperm count, which I think the normal per sample is 20 million, his was at 6 million, and then tested again, it was at 9. So I was just so devastated because my husband is, bless his heart, he's just so stubborn and had these horrible eating habits. He loved eating his goldfish crackers, his ramen noodles. You know, he would, of course, eat the dinners I made of, like, lentil soups and, you know, brown rice and quinoa and all that. But, boy, you gave that guy, you know, freedom to go pick a place to eat lunch, and he'd go for the nearest deli with all that processed meat. So by this time, the doctor wanted to put us on, do an IUI or an IVF, which was $800 or $15,000, and we just said, thanks, but no thanks, we want to get ourselves in order. And by this time, I had been doing the natural fertility prescription program for about 2 months, doing a lot of the yoga, I did the meditations with Circle and Bloom. I also religiously followed the cookbook, and it seems so challenging at first. You're like, how am I going to find all these things to plan out my meals for the week? It's overwhelming. You're stacked with time. No time. You have work and all that. I'm totally there. But once you get in the habit, it is so easy. And Eva just made it really, really simple. So I'm eating better. I'm sleeping better. My energy is better. I know I need to focus on my husband now, and he starts doing some of the smoothies that Eva recommends. He starts eating more of the recipes that she does. We started juicing and drinking beet juice and figuring out how to deal with electromagnetic radiation and all that. And we did the personalized fertility analysis, which was very helpful. She had an incredibly meticulously detailed survey about you and your health, which she went through step by step and gave us personalized recommendations. And so we implemented a lot of those. My husband gave up ramen noodles. He gave up goldfish crackers. He started eating almonds and all kinds of fun nuts and things like that. Had fresh veggies and fruits every day. It was miraculous. We also did decide to go on to the supplements. We were only on those for about a month. And my husband, we had found out about his low sperm count for, at that time, 2 months ago. And I had been on the natural fertility prescription program for 4 months. So 4 months after I started, 2 months after my husband started, and 1 month after we started the fertility supplements, we got pregnant. We conceived, and it was just incredible. I mean, it was no greater satisfaction than calling up the reproductive endocrinologist and saying, thank you so much, but I will no longer be needing your service. So I am now 13 weeks along. Just got to hear the heartbeat today. It's normal. We got to, at 9 weeks, see the little guy in there moving all around, moving his head. He's already dancing. So heartbeat was good. Everything's very healthy and wonderful. And we are just overjoyed and blessed. And I think the natural fertility prescription program is good for anybody. It takes a little extra will and extra love, but Eva is there to hold your hand. I've called her an angel more than once, and she really is. She puts her heart into this. And it can seem daunting because we're used to Western medicine that gives you a pill, a magic pill to make it all go away. But I think in the long run, what Eva gives you is a tool that you can use for your life, and we certainly have. It's not like we've gone back to our habits. We still juice. We do the smoothies. I have her fertility porridge for breakfast, her eggs in the morning for her recipe for eggs, scrambled eggs, an omelet, and we love it. We just feel fantastic, and the pregnancy has been very easy so far. So I wholeheartedly recommend it. I cannot wait to see your testimonials about your pregnancy success, because I know it'll happen. I can't know what your journey's like. Some of you have been trying way longer than me and have, so much stress, but just know that it's possible. I remember sitting there watching these testimonials like you are now and going, that'll never be me, but it can be you. So, fertile love, success, baby dust, all of that. And we will see you later from Oregon. Thank you.